What's up, everybody, and welcome back to the channel. Today we have a Tacoma TRD off-road 4-wheel drive 2011, and what we're going to be doing is, so on these, and this applies to the Tacomas, the 4Runners, and the FJ Cruisers. So something that happens on these a lot is the needle bearing is on the differential in the front on the 4-wheel drives. And what you have to do is, they go out all the time. Like, I did one not too long ago. I mean, this truck had 70,000 miles, and it had almost as much play as this one did. And it's just a common thing. And there's a company here in North Carolina called East Coast Gear Supply. And they got a YouTube channel. I'm going to try to tag them in it. But they're actually, I'm at my brother-in-law's house, and this is his truck. But they're actually like 15 minutes away from where he lives, and they're in Lewisburg, North Carolina. But they make this kit. It's about $170, something like that. And what it does is comes with a bushing, and you put this bushing in here instead of that needle bearing that's in there. But this kit comes with seal, the bushing, the driver, the seal installer, which I love this seal installer, and then the tool to actually pull the old needle bearing out. So we're going to be doing all this in this video, like the conversion for this, and this right here makes that axle like super stiff and everything, and like straightens up all this and gets rid of that needle bearing, because they put a bushing in on the passenger side but not the driver's side. I know it's a little dark, but I'm trying to show y'all how much play this thing is. I actually drove 4 hours to do this for him. And look at that. It is horrible. So it's a real common thing on these. So I'm filming on my phone, by the way, so it's a little bit different, because I didn't plan on, filming this, because we made a 4-hour drive up here just so I could do this for him. Because it's gotten so bad, it's actually affecting the way he drives, And his wife, her dad owns a bunch of farmland, and she scouts for him on that farmland, so they need this truck to be right. So I'm going to do this for him. Sound like I'm out of breath. I just got through eating breakfast. It's like 9 o'clock in the morning. But there it is. So, what we're going to do, we're going to start off first. Pull this cap off. I may be able to do it. This screwdriver, because he recently. I'm gonna have to get up in here and see if I can pull it out. But let me pull this cap off real quick. Like I saying, pull this cap off, and then you should have a nut back here. And I know sometimes they can be a 5-point socket. 6-point socket. Sometimes they're 12 points. It really, I think, depends on the year of your Tacoma 4Runner FJ Cruiser. Try not to smash my finger. But yeah, it kind of depends on what year you have. Because I think the 2018 that I did, I think it had a 12-point socket. So once you get that pin out, you'll just take the cover and that off. This one has a 35 6-point. It's right here. And then I'm just going to use the impact and zip that off real quick. And then once we do that, I'm going to break the tie rod loose. And you got a cotter pin right there, and then you got a nut. You're just going to take it off, then you're going to hit it about right here with a hammer, and it should fall off. That way it gives us some movement side to side. Then after we do that, I'm going to take the 3 bolts or nuts and bolts off on the bottom. See if I can show y'all. Oh, forgot. This one don't have that. I'm going to take this portion right there, where the ball joint is off, so that we can get the axle out. Sorry, I was thinking about the older ones. I have the 3 bolts that hold the, the ball joints in. We got everything loose. You can see it's like wobbly now. And a little tip, loosen these little 2 19mm that attach the knuckle to the lower control arm first before you break your tie rod loose, and that is a 19 as well. And once you break that loose, it should just come, and you should be able to just pull it and have it like that. And his axle is pretty easy to take the nut off. Can't remember what torque specs is. He does not have a torque wrench, and I forgot to bring mine, so we're just going to hammer down on this with the impact. No, it's not the correct way to do it, but in a pinch, that's what you can do. But I would recommend going back and retorquing it if you get a chance. But now we do have the control arm loose and the knuckle and everything like that. So I'm going to pull this. Come on. It's hard to do it one-handed. And I don't know if I can set y'all up. Let's see if I can. Use a screwdriver and a mallet. Hammer it back. A little bit harder than it should have been, but it got stuck in the knuckle. And now you'll have to get up inside of there and use either a pretty sturdy screwdriver, or you're going to need to get a pry bar, and you want to pull this axle out. Now be ready, you can lose some differential fluid, but that's to be expected. So I'm going to try to see if I can find something to put underneath here so we don't get his floor all dirty. So after about 30 minutes of trying to get this axle out, just because it was so bad, I finally got it. And you can see it right here. And I don't feel any marks or anything on here, which is good, because as bad as this thing was moving, I'm surprised. So he doesn't have to get a new axle. But what I had to do to get this out was hammer a pry bar in between it like this, and then I got another screwdriver, because I don't have 2 pry bars here, and I wedged it in on the other side this way, and then it finally pushed it out. It just took about 30 minutes of doing this. Now there is a little shield, and it goes just like that up against there, and that covers your seal. And the way I just pulled the seal out was just like any other seal. Took a screwdriver, collapsed the side in, and just pulled it right out. And like I said, you're going to have some differential fluid. It's going to come out. You can see it's dripping, and I don't know how well y'all can see up in there. I do have a flashlight. See those needle bearings? That is what goes bad on there. Those right there, they go bad all the time on these. I don't know why they didn't put a bushing on both sides, but it's just what they did. But they do make this kit right here from East Coast Gear Supply. But now we're going to get the tool, and we're going to pull that out. Where's the tool at? So here's your tool, and we'll have to screw this off real quick. So what you do, you're going to have to stick that in there like this. Now you have to be careful as to not drop that in your differential. If you do, you're going to have a bad day. So make sure you have a magnet on hand, and you're going to want to, we're going to take this nut off first. Let's pull it the other way. So make sure you have nothing on there. And like I said, it's going to go this way, and you're going to pull, like, try to put that in there, hold it, and then you're going to have to thread this in. Now it's tricky to do this, and I don't have a lot of room to show you, but have a screwdriver or something kind of handy, ready to hold on to this as you're threading that in. And once you have that on, you can put this piece that goes against your differential housing just kind of like that, and it just, as you tighten this nut down, you gotta pull that little needle bearing out. Once I get it set up, I'll show you how you do it. And there's a thin line of grabbing the case and grabbing the needle bearing, because it's really close. That needle bearing is super thin. And once I get it and show y'all how it's set up and I get it coming out, I'll show you how it looks on the needle bearing. I got it on there, and a good idea is to probably put a little bit of like napkins, paper towel, a little small piece of rag or something inside of it so it doesn't fall down. And then I'm gonna try to show y'all if I can what it looks like, because it is coming out. See how much has come out already? And I'm using a wrench to do this, so it doesn't take much force to get this out. So I'm just going to keep on tightening this down, and it should pull it out all the way before it actually hits the metal piece right there. So that's how that works. And once we get this out, we'll drive the new bushing in. So we got it out. Here it is. And I'm showing y'all compared to the needle bearing how big the bushing puller is. And I mean, it is about the exact same size. You can see. Whenever you put that on there, I mean, you just got probably 5/1000ths clearance on the sides of it. So, but this is the problem. Okay, these things are extremely loose, and those fail all the time. But now what we're going to do is we're going to get the new bushing with the driver, and we're just going to drive this in. I gotta look at the instructions. I forgot which way it goes in. I don't know if like focus. So it's got like a little taper on that end. It's flush on that end. Got to look up and see which way it goes in, because I done forgot which way it goes. So I just looked at their website, and it says that this face comes out because that is the steel side, and the bushing is a softer material on the inside. So steel face out, and it goes in like that, where that goes towards the center of the differential. This faces the axle, because that right there protects it as it rides against the axle, which makes sense. And for reference, it slips right over, and that's how it goes. So what we're going to do is put that on, and I'm going to put a little bit of grease just around it just to get it and make sure that it's centered up and makes it sure it goes in even. And then we're just going to use a hammer and drive this in. Let me set this up, and then I'll show y'all how I'm going to hammer it in. I may need something to reach up in there and hammer it, but we'll see. That's how we got it set up right there. And you have to do short little throws unless you got something to tie this back with right here, the knuckle. If you're doing it by yourself, I recommend that, because swinging it with a hammer and doing short little throws will take you a little bit. And make sure you take it out periodically and make sure that the little dowel ring plastic piece on the end is still tight against the actual seating tool, because it will come loose. There is an Allen bolt in there that will come loose, and just make sure it's tight periodically. And you can use, I used the end of a jack handle, and that slid over it perfectly and hammered it in, and I'll show you how close you want it. If you see it, it's just flush with you'll hear when the tool bottoms out, and that's like, it makes a loud ping noise, and once that you hear that noise, you can hit it a couple more times just to be sure, but you just want it flush with that inner diameter. Now we're going to go ahead and install the seal. The seal is in, and now all we gotta do is just, oh, where are you? Stick the axle in there if I can find it. But we're gonna put the axle back in and start putting everything back together. So pretty much from this point on, it's just the reversal of the removal. And just make sure you put that ring right there back in there, and remember, flat side goes against the axle. And once I get everything put back in, I will come back, close out the video, and give you our torque specs on everything. Also, when you go to put this axle in, you're going to have to line it up and like hit it, pull it out and hit it in there pretty hard to get it to seat. These right here, I've always had issues with these, and I'll show you how tight it is afterwards with the bushing as well. We got it all back together, and I'll kind of show y'all. I mean, you can see how much better. I'm trying to get y'all in here. Alright, there we go. I mean, that's me moving it up and down. Now, back and forth, that's just the axle itself. But, like, much better. There's like hardly any movement in that thing now, which is way better. But I'm going to go over some torque specs with you. Axle nut, 173 foot-pounds. Lower ball joint to knuckle assembly, those are 118. And then your tie rod end right here is 41. That's all the torque specs that we needed on this. We didn't take anything else off other than your tire. And he's got aftermarket rims, and I know a lot of other people do who actually need this, have aftermarket rims and stuff. So just go off of what the manufacturer specs are for the tires, because some of them change them just due to the type of material that your wheels are made out of. But if you got any questions, comments, concerns, let me know in the comment section. I'll put a link to the company in the comment section and in the description as well. But if y'all got any questions, comments, concerns, let me know. I'll get to them as soon as I can. And y'all remember, torque this tight, and y'all have a great day.